everyone, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new, welcome. My name is Meg, and today we are testing out French makeup. I am so interested in doing this video. I saw Snitchery upload a video. If you guys don't follow her, I just have been binging all of her videos because I recently found her about a month or so ago, and I really like her tutorials. I might do another video of following along with some of her tutorials because she does a lot of catfish tutorials, which is really cool, and actually goes in depth in explaining how to change the shape of your face instead of doing the standard steps that everyone does. So when she uploaded this video of trying French makeup, it was it was interesting to me because also about a month ago, Raw Beauty Christy, who is probably one of my favorite YouTubers, if you don't follow her, I don't know what you're doing with your life, but she's amazing. She did the whole movie makeup video, and I was just okay, because I've been in a place where I'm getting so sick of doing complexion. I am over foundation. I just feel like my skin, obviously, it's not the best. And it's the most annoying aspect of doing routine. I just really like playing with eyeshadows and playing with color. If you're new here, that's my favorite thing to do. And when it comes to doing my skin, I'm just over it because I'm sick of wearing heavy foundation. So I'm kind of in this area where I want to experiment and not wear as much cake face as much as I like it. So when I saw her video, I was like, okay, I want to follow along, see what I could do, and I think it would be fun to test it out because in my mind, I already have the negative connotation that it's going to be disastrous because my skin does not cooperate great at all. I tried switching up my skincare and it made my skin worse. So I'm in a little bit of the recovery process, and I'm also excited to be filming because I'm also filming in a new area. So hopefully everything is looking good. And I do have a new product that I'm going to be talking about today. I have another video that I'm filming testing out quite a few new makeup products. And I also have a video of trying soap brows for the first time. That's kind of what I have going on in my brows right now. So yeah, I already have my skincare done, but I'm going to quickly go over the products because I did watch a lot of French makeup tutorials too after I watched Snitchery's video, and skincare is really heavy into it. So first I start off with my eye cream. This is the IT Cosmetics Confidence in an Eye Cream. I love this eye cream. It is the only eye cream that doesn't instantly puff and irritate my eyes. I don't get milia. It's just been really good to me. So I'm happy that I found this. However, the Confidence in a Cream face cream broke me out, clogged my pores, and I was so disappointed that the moisturizer didn't pair well with my skin. So I literally bought this a few days ago, so I can't really speak on this, but I had so many people recommend CeraVe to me because I just said I have really dry skin, but it's super sensitive. Any moisturizer or exfoliator tends to either break me out in a rash or completely clog my skin. I'm still recovering on my nose especially. I had so many little zits from that IT Cosmetics moisturizer. So I've been using this about a week now. I haven't really noticed a difference. A little goes a long way, but this is for rough and bumpy skin. So I'm going to give this a shot, and as long as it's not making my skin worse, I'm going to keep using it and see if I notice a difference after about 2 months. I'll keep you updated. So I already had that on my face. And in Snitchery's video, she mixes a tinted moisturizer with her regular moisturizer. I don't really have a tinted moisturizer, so I'm going to skip that step because I also kind of want to veer off on my own a little bit and do some spot concealing. And I actually just got these Becca concealers sent to me in the mail from Influencer. If you're not familiar, it's a program anyone can sign up for it. You don't have to be prominent on social media to use it. I'll have a link down below if you're interested in signing up. Basically, you just complete surveys, and if you fit what they're looking for in the survey, they send you product for free. It's 100% free in the mail. It's complimentary. All that's required of you is to fill out a mandatory survey after about a month or two period when the product is sent to you. And yeah, they randomly send you emails asking you to take surveys, and if you qualify, you get stuff in the mail. So it's really fun. So this is the new Becca Light Shifter Brightening Concealer. Brighten, blur, and conceal with light, not heavy pigment. So with French makeup, from what I understand, from what I've seen, it's all very sheer. So Saying that this isn't going to have a lot of pigment in it is worrisome for me, but seems to be really good for the tutorial. So a little bit about this concealer. It just says that it is going to brighten the complexion and add natural luminosity. The lightweight formula diffuses imperfections with a radiant finish and can be used over makeup to refresh throughout the day, and it's suitable for a range of skin tones. However, this does not look like a very good range of shades to me. So hopefully this is like a little bit of a softer launch and they'll launch with more shades, because this doesn't look very inclusive to me. That is my opinion. And then it recommends to pair this with their under eye brightening corrector, which Sam Ravindal uses, and I'm also interested in using that. And then it says that you can prep the skin with a Lit from Within glow with their backlight priming filter, which is what I have here. These were sent to me. I got 2 shades. I was told to pick a shade that I thought would be darker for me, because they were also going to send a lighter shade. So these were sent for complimentary for testing purposes. And it looks like Amazon is dropping a package off for me. Alrighty, that was Amazon. So let's go ahead and get started with these concealers. I have them in the shade Gamma Ray and Cosmic. So Cosmic is the lighter one. It's so tiny on here. It doesn't look like there's much of a difference. I honestly hate this packaging. I used to love the Maybelline Instant Age Ride Concealer, but I would always rip the fuzzy off and just dot it on and blend it in with a brush. So we'll see how I get along with this, but before I'm getting ahead of myself, let's jump into Snitchery's video and see what she is doing. Curling eyelashes is a really big thing, so I'm gonna curl while I watch.
Without makeup, she's such a natural beauty, and she sort of likes that vibe, likes that idea. So I guess looking like you're wearing no makeup is the name of the game today. For me, definitely it feels a little uncomfortable. It feels a little unfinished. One thing I was thinking about a lot the other day.
I definitely agree, like the no makeup is not something that's in my comfort zone when it comes to makeup. For me, she talks a lot about the Instagram baddie makeup, and like for me, that's something that I've definitely fallen into as well. And for me, I'm at a standpoint in my life where I'm either all in 100%, like caking the face, going all out, like Instagram baddie makeup, or I literally go out like this. Like I will curl my eyelashes. I'm obsessed with curling my lashes because it just lifts, and for me, it makes your eyes look more open. You look a little bit more awake. And for me, this is how I'm like 90% of the time. I either wear a full cake face or I wear absolutely no makeup whatsoever, because for me, if I'm gonna sit down and do makeup, I might as well go all out. And that's the mentality that I'm trying to break. So doing like this makeup but no makeup look is almost a little bit frustrating for me, because I know it's a lot of effort and it takes almost just as much time as the Instagram style makeup for very little effort. And for me, I can't be bothered. And that's just where I personally stand.
Always, they either applied it with their fingers or with like a big brush like this. It was never fully packed on the way you're probably typically used to seeing in makeup tutorials, where it's like a concealer triangle and you pack it on to cover any imperfections. It's very much a swipe. One thing I've also seen is that a lot of French women use foundation actually as their concealer, maybe because it's a little less coverage. So I was gonna use this Jouer foundation here because it is very full coverage and could maybe function as a concealer, but that foundation is heavy, girl. She's fully thick, okay? So I actually think this MAC concealer here, this 24-hour smooth wear concealer, is actually probably a bit closer to what French women do. So just a couple little stripes there, and then they just take a brush like this. This is a Wet n Wild brush. I don't know what it's supposed to be used for, but in tutorials I've seen, French women literally just put on their concealer and then brush it out like that. Seems like for a lot of French women the most important.
What's stressful to me is that she doesn't set her under eye, and a lot of them don't set their under eye, and I have very creasy under eyes. So for my own sake, I'm going to set anyways lightly with powder. This is e.l.f. packaging, but I have the RCMA No Translucent powder in here. And then this also I don't like, because it's like you crank it a million times and nothing comes out, and then you end up having so much product. So because she mixed her foundation in with moisturizer, I'm just going to kind of spot conceal as necessary with this, and that's kind of going to be my substitution for her applying tinted moisturizer essentially. I really wish that these info cards included prices. So while I'm waiting for this to come up, I will look up the price of this concealer. Wow, this is $28. That seems pretty expensive in my opinion. That's on Ulta.com, by the way. That's the first thing that popped up. That seems a little bit expensive in my opinion, especially if it's sheer coverage. Like, why do you need to pay almost $30 for like coverage? Maybe I should actually test this out before I start talking about it. So I'm gonna apply this to my chin and then also my cheeks, because that is where I get redness. And as you can see, this is very, very sheer. And then I'm also applying to my forehead. They use a brush, which kind of stresses me out a little bit. So we'll see. They use like a fluffy brush. I just want to go in and pat it in with my sponge, because the sponge tends to add a little bit more coverage and it kind of smooths it out. Whereas I feel like with a brush, this isn't moving. Like, you can see that line. I'm just trying to use light stippling motions, so I'm not pushing coverage away, but still lightly blending out. It just looks like I wiped stuff all over my forehead. What is even happening? Okay, I'm gonna go in with my sponge because I can't deal with this brush situation. Now my forehead is just hella shiny. But I guess it is called the Light Shifter Concealer, so. This is literally sheer. Like, there is just the teensiest, tiniest bit of coverage with this. And then I feel like if I was just spot concealing, maybe I should have put this down first so my whole face looks shiny, because right now, like, you can just see how it looks kind of blotchy with how the light is hitting. Am I gonna end up having to put foundation on to like not have this look? I mean, you can just kind of see how it's like reflecting really brightly where the light is hitting, and then in the shadows it just almost looks a little bit blotchy, but I feel like my forehead looks kind of decent. Let me turn this down. Oops. What did I do to myself? Oh no. Maybe if I powder? But they don't use powder. This is why, this is the downside of testing out a new product doing a video like this. Oh my goodness. All right, so I'm gonna add some concealer, the lighter shade. This, what I just put all over, sorry girl, what I just put all over my face was the Gamma Ray 2.5, and then this is Cosmic in shade 2.
It's very quick. A lot of them want to be very efficient and very quick with their makeup. There's a lot of like 5-minute French makeup tutorials or, you know, things like that. Here's the thing I was going to get into, and I was sort of proven right by how my eye bags look. When you sit down in the morning and you start doing your makeup and you start, you know, mentally following the tutorials you've watched on Instagram and YouTube, the concealer step is so heavy. There's such an obsession with covering under eye bags, and believe me girl, I have it too. I really want to get rid of these. They bug the shit out of me. I almost feel like it sets off that makeup style to have to be like super dramatic, super full coverage, super aggressive, very much like mask makeup, which again, I love.
So basically what she's saying here is that when she does her concealer, because concealer is so full coverage, it almost looks weird because you'll have like those defecation marks where you can see where you are completely covered and smooth looking, but then the rest of your face is like textured and, you know, not perfect looking. So then you feel like, okay, I need to add the foundation, and you end up with a cake face like that, is like basically what she is saying. I can't get over how this looks right now. I'm definitely going to have to powder my entire face, but I want to get all the cream products out of the way. And I found it interesting that the shade Cosmic is darker than Gamma Ray, because Gamma Ray is 2.5, so technically this is supposed to be the darker shade, but it almost looked darker on my skin. That's just so weird to me how it looked like that. So this is a little bit more natural lighting, and I think it looks better in the video, so I'm just going to go with this for the rest of the video. And I already broke so many rules because you're not supposed to put it all over your face, but I kind of had to, and then I had to use a sponge because brush just wasn't cutting it. All right, let's move on to contour.
But I think our base is done. The philosophy on brows seems to be leave them very, very natural. Just take care of them so they get full on their own and then just leave them. I personally am going to give my brows a little helping hand just by taking this Benefit Precisely My Brow brow pencil and right in the front here, adding a few little mini hair strokes. I just like how this makes my brows look a little bushier. I did see some women using a brow pencil, but what I saw most French women do was just use a brow gel. I want to give you guys another option for if you don't have those thick, beautiful castor oil would be jealous brows that a lot of these women have. But you can use a product like Gimme Brow. This is one of my favorite products from Benefit of all time. It's not really a brow gel. It's kind of like little, I guess, fibers.
All right, so for brows, like I said, I already have soap brows in because from my research, you do that first and then kind of fill in where you need to. So instead of using like a thick brow gel, because the brow gel that I have, I'm not a fan of, we'll get to that in a minute. Just kind of placing this on. And then again, I'm so used to actually lining my brows with the bottom and a top because like my brows are not the best. So it's very hard for me to just kind of like go in here willy-nilly and just kind of draw hair strokes. I still need to like shape the tail on, but it's just so weird to not have that bottom base line. I'm also trying to do such a lighter hand with my brows because I press so hard and it's not a good look, and I know that. I just naturally press hard, like even when I'm writing, so trying to go in with light feathery strokes is very hard for me. That is not the most natural looking brow. I don't know how people do it. I try so hard. If you have any tips for naturally looking brows when you have like no brows like me, let me know. But I guess that's why I like doing videos like this, like testing out new methods for the first time, because I feel like on YouTube, it can be so easy to be like, oh, look at this person, like they did it and they look flawless, and I did it and I look like a hot ass mess. So I think it's fun to do like these watch along videos for the first time trying it out, to be like, hey, this is what I learned from watching this video. This is what I would do differently. And I think it just like, hopefully it's encouraging for you watching to know like, it's a struggle. See, that brow I think went a little bit better. Obviously, I still have like some bald spots. Brows and complexion / face makeup is always the biggest struggle for me. I feel like I'm always testing out new foundations, new concealers, trying to find the best products. And the struggle is real. There, that brow definitely built up a lot better than this sad excuse for a brow. All right, unfortunately, this is as good as my brows are going to get, because if I keep messing with them, I'm going to have bigger blocks on my face. I'm also going to take whatever is left over on this sponge and kind of hit right around my nostrils. All right, let's see, what is the next step in this? makeup.
I want a little something, you know what I mean? Like, at the very least, I want a little color on my face. So, like I said, a lot of French women seemingly just do not do contour. It's just sort of diametrically opposed to the ideology they have about what makeup's supposed to do, which is that it's supposed to enhance your natural beauty and make you look like the best version of yourself rather than making you look like someone else. Drawing in really high cheekbones, if you don't have that, would sort of be frowned upon. The one thing that I'm really distraught about is that I will not be able to contour my nose because I did not see a single woman contouring her nose, which is... I'm really stressed about it. You guys know that my nose contour is my baby. I do think it's kind of cool that in French makeup, they seem to be more willing to embrace different face shapes, different facial features. That said, most of the tutorials I watched, again, were from like size 0 white women with brown fringes, so I don't know. I guess that's just the French standard of beauty. It would be no better or no worse. I'm gonna use this ColourPop Pretty Fresh concealer in a shade that is too dark for me. So what I saw was that a lot of French women just did like 2 little lines where their cheekbones are, and then they would again just take a brush, really buff it out. I'm gonna go ahead back in with that bigger brush that has a little bit of that concealer on it because I don't really want it to look like bronzer. I just want it to look like I have a cheekbone. I think that's the contour we get with French makeup, guys. I didn't really see many powder blushes. I saw a lot of cheek stains and cream blushes. So today we're gonna be using the Kaja. This is a cream blush in the shade 01 Koi. In a lot of French makeup tutorials, they use a lot of prestige makeup brands. Like, rather than using Instagram makeup brands like Anastasia or Tarte or Benefit, and I don't say Instagram brands disparagingly, they're some of the most popular brands in the world right now and some of my absolute all-time favorites. There's sort of a distinction in like price point, age demographic between these Instagram brands that are likely appealing to Gen Z and millennials, and then these prestige brands. Like, a lot of the girls I saw used brands like Dior and Chanel and Marc Jacobs and brands like that, and all of my products from those sorts of brands back in New York. So today we're using Kaja, baby, and Kaja is just as good, but I did want to mention that that is a trend I saw. So this is a cream blush product, so I'm gonna go ahead and just tap it, apply it to my cheek.
She looks so good and I look so bad. Okay, so I just used my ABH contour. This is a Real Techniques 301. I love using this with my regular makeup. Like, I'm trying, you guys. And then for the cream blush, I don't have cream blush. I do have this lip and cheek stain from Urban Decay. This was part of their Game of Thrones collection. And red lips are really good, and this is my natural lip color. I hate it. I love muting out my lips. This is like a nightmare to me, although I'm sure a lot of French women wish that they had lips that were this pigmented. But yeah, I love muting out my lip color, and I'm all about the pinky nudes all day, every day. Red lips, not here for her. Don't know her. So I'm gonna apply this to both. Scared. Comes in like a little dropper. This is cute. I could get behind this if I had like, I feel like if I had my blank canvas of normal foundation, this could be really nice. I like this a lot. And then I'm just gonna build this up on my lips. I'm gonna turn my camera off for a minute because it is about to overheat. All right, so off camera, I cheated and mattified my face with translucent powder. I used like the lightest layer possible, and I think that definitely helped a lot, although this side of my face is not looking too great. Yeah, and then I just built up a couple layers of that lip and cheek stain so you can kind of get a better idea of what it looks like on my finger. So now I think we are moving on to the eyes.
Oui, baguette, bitch. The French know a little something about makeup. I feel so pretty. Even with my nose uncontoured, bitch, I feel like a 10 out of 10. Oh, one thing I saw that I forgot with the contour is that a lot of women put their contour and blush colors on their eyelids as well. So rather than just putting the concealer on my eyelid, I'm gonna put a little bit on my finger. I'm gonna go ahead and just tap that onto my eyelid. And then I'm gonna do the same with my blush. I'm just gonna take a little on my finger. And again, just sort of. I think, again, it's important to circle back to the point that in French makeup, they don't want it to look like they're wearing makeup. So if you can ever see a specific color on your face, and you're really trying to follow, at least what I can tell this style is, then maybe reassess. However, this next step, that's not always the case. This is the eye look. I say look sort of generously, maybe. I don't think many French women do a lot of eye makeup, at least from what I can tell. I've seen that some of them like using a little bit of powder to darken their lash line, and occasionally there's a little wing moment. So what I'm gonna do is go into my Bare Necessities ColourPop palette and take this tiny little, this is an ABH brow brush, and I'm gonna stick that in the black, dart across my lash line as close to the lash line as I can. Hopefully you can see, or at least I can see in my mirror that's, you know, 2 inches from my face, how different this eye looks from this eye. This eye looks bigger, more awake, more finished. I'm also going to take this up into a tiny...
Alright, let's see. I'm not going to go in with black, but I am going to use the dark brown in this palette. This is the Desi and Katie Francation palette by Dose of Colors. I definitely like using shadow as liner. Like 90% of the time, like, you will not catch me using a liquid liner, which is kind of funny because I just bought a new liquid liner that I'm going to be testing out in my next video. But typically I stray away from that. I just love the softness of a shadow. It's easy to correct, especially if you're doing like a wing kind of look. You can just easily wipe it away, whereas with liner, it can be a little bit messy. All right, cool. That was the easiest step of this whole tutorial.
Little wing, just a little flick, because I saw some women doing that and I thought it looked so cute. For mascara, almost everyone I watched curled their lashes, but I'm deathly afraid of eyelash curlers, so not gonna do that. I am instead going to take the Daring Girl Too Faced mascara, and I'm going to coat only my upper lashes. Now, I didn't see any French women actually doing this, but as somebody who knows other types of makeup as well, I am gonna go ahead and line my waterline with a black pencil here. This is, again, just gonna make your eye look so much more cohesive and finished. Next is the step I am most excited for by far, and that is lips. We have to do red lipstick today, right? Because I think every tutorial I watched except one, probably watched like 7, used red lipstick. But as with the rest of the French face, it seems like they're much more focused on creams, tints, things like that, rather than matte liquid things like a matte liquid foundation or lip. I'm going to be using this shade right here. This is from the NARS 7 Deadly Sins palette. Most of the girls I watch use their fingers to apply, but I don't really want red all over my fingers. So I'm going to use a brush. A lot of the girls use lots of different colors when they do their makeup. Lots of different reds, that is. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to layer. And also, they did not like having a harsh lip line. It was very much more like almost that Korean, very diffused, very effortless. To sort of bring it back to the red I want, I'm going to be using this Too Faced Stop Traffic Bullet lipstick here.
This is the Maybelline Push Up Falsy Angel mascara, and I really like this a lot. Normally I do 2 coats, 2 different mascaras, and I like using this one first because I can get to the base of my lashes, which helps create like that black line that lines your waterline. And then it's really cool. I like the brush because it's like an actual comb, so it's like you're combing the mascara through your lashes, so you can really go root to tip and just focus on separating. And while I am getting mascara smudges in my eyelid, I don't mind because it's such a quick fix to get rid of that. The only downside for me is when this starts to get older, like the mascara is like almost a little bit sticky and it can kind of clump together a little bit. So there is that. However, to get rid of the little smudges, since I did this eye first, you can just take your spoolie and just flick them right off. You definitely want to make sure that they're dry, because if it's still wet, you can just kind of like take that wet mascara and smear it around. So it's definitely good to wait a few seconds for it to dry. You can also do this with eyeshadow on your eye. If you're very, very careful and go in lightly, you really won't erase or take off too much of that eyeshadow. So the eyes are the best part of this whole entire look. I already put the lip and cheek stain on my lips, and they're feeling a little bit dry, so I'm going to add some gloss. I didn't really see anything about people using gloss, but I love gloss. And I definitely like that I gave that stain time to dry onto my lips, because now it didn't transfer to my wand, which I hate when lip products do that.
So for highlighter, some women did use a powder here. It's kind of the only product where I saw women using a powder product, but way more women still used a cream, a liquid, something like that. So I'm going to be taking this Skin Gloss Illuminator. This is a Tarte product.
So she is using like an actual gloss, and my plan was to use this back filter, but because I was so shiny, I set my face. So using a liquid on top of that isn't going to look the best, and my face was already so shiny as is. So I'm going to go in with powder. This is the Becca highlight in the shade, this is in Pearl, right? Moonstone. So I'm just going to take some on my finger and lightly apply. Alright, so I'm not going to add falsies because I honestly can't be bothered, but this is the French style makeup. I definitely think and want to revisit this and not use such an illuminating concealer. I think more of like my regular day-to-day concealer would probably be a better bet. Also, my soap brows turned out completely horrible. Like, I am so embarrassed to have these eyebrows right now. They look disgusting. So yeah, the concealer was a disaster, the brows were a disaster. So I think if I used different products for that and did it a different way, the contour would look a little bit better, the blush wouldn't look so spotty, and maybe I would just look better overall. I don't know. So this is what it looks like with the light on. It kind of looks a little bit better with the ring light on, but let me know what you guys think. I know a lot of women wear this makeup in their day-to-day life, and it's like not anything mind-blowing or exceptional for them. For me, this is very different. I definitely want to give it a different go, like I said. And one thing that she talked about in her video was about how, and I saw this too in the comment section of a lot of like the makeup tutorials of the French girls doing their makeup, saying like, not everyone does their makeup like this. And then I was also reading a lot of comments, and there seems to be such a big divide over there versus Instagram and natural makeup. There kind of is here. I see it in comments on Instagram, but it seems to be like a lot more like angry. So basically they think that Instagram makeup is raunchy and it's vulgar. So I thought that that was interesting. And then of course the people that like the Instagram makeup are really offended, and then they were saying not everyone has like this perfect model look to them. So let me know in the comments below, what are your thoughts on this style of makeup? Thank you for sticking through this complete disaster of a video. And oh yeah, final step was that they would always take their hair down and wear it naturally. My very sad and flat hair. My very sad and flat hair. I feel like I look so weird. But yeah, anyways, thank you so much for sticking through this video with me. It was definitely fun and interesting to do, because I feel like a lot of times when we test out different makeup techniques, we're by ourselves, not putting it out there for like thousands of people to see. So yeah, give me a thumbs up if you like this video, and make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on my future content, and I will see you in the next one. Bye everyone!